Dear Greg, my husband seems to get mad over the littlest things, and I just don't understand it. Let me give you one example. Bugs. I really, really hate bugs in the house. They make me crazy. If I see a spider or a cockroach on the floor or the wall, I just can't help myself. It makes my skin crawl, so I scream and I run into the next room. Then he comes into the room where the bug is and says stuff like, "For heaven's sake, it's just a bug. Why do you make such a big deal of it?" And darn it, that makes me mad, because he doesn't understand how afraid I am of bugs. I try to explain how they make me feel and how I hate having them all over the place, and then he just gets more irritated. I need some help here. What am I doing wrong?
We always respond better to any situation when we understand what's really going on. So let's examine what's happening here with you and your husband. Your husband's anger is a protecting behavior, and all those behaviors are intended to protect us from what? Fear. Your husband's anger is simply an indication that he is afraid. Period. The problem is, when your husband is coming at you with a frown on his face and speaking in angry tones, you tend not to see him as afraid. Why? Because his anger is making you afraid. And your fear is then all you can think about, not his. So you see, we have an impossible situation here right off the bat, and it worsens by the second. After you see this little bug on the floor, you start off the avalanche of fear as you react first to the bug. But that's just the beginning. Then your husband becomes afraid, something you have never recognized until today. And he reacts with anger, which makes you even more afraid. You react to your increased fear with more irritation of your own, which frightens your husband. And now we have a building cycle of fear and anger, such that in no time at all, one small event, a bug on the floor, has turned into world war. Sound familiar? Now, let's look at each of these steps and learn more about them. First, you become afraid of the bug. Why? No explanation needed. It's just one of those irrational fears. We all have them. Some of us are afraid of bugs, some of heights, others of closed spaces. What matters is what your husband does next. I already said that he becomes angry because he's afraid. But afraid of what? It doesn't seem to make any sense. You're the one who's afraid and screaming, so why would that make him afraid? What could he possibly be afraid of? It's pretty simple. Is he afraid of the bug? No. So it has to be something about you. When you scream in fear and run into the next room, what is he hearing you say with your behavior? He's hearing that you want something from him, and you do. You want 3 things from your husband. And in our next session, we'll talk about what you want from him and why he reacts so badly to it.